Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the ESS Nightshade, Earth's most advanced stealth vessel, watching the distant lights of the Centauri trading hub. After 15 years of secret observation, humanity had mapped every corrupt dealing, every suppressed innovation, and every act of exploitation by the Galactic Concordat. Today, that would change. Admiral, we're receiving the confirmation signal from the Perseus. Lieutenant James Rodriguez reported from his communication station. The fleet is in position. Chen nodded, her weathered face reflecting in the reinforced transparent steel viewport. While the Concordat believed humanity was still struggling with basic fusion technology, Earth had achieved quantum tunneling propulsion, dark matter shielding, and weapons that could pierce any known defense. The Nightshade's bridge hummed with quiet efficiency as her crew managed their stations. They represented the best of Earth's shadow fleet, ships that officially didn't exist, crewed by people whose records had been erased. For 2 decades, they had watched as the Concordat's peacekeepers extracted protection money from developing civilizations and suppressed any technology that might challenge their dominance. "Show me the Rakai merchant vessel," Chen ordered. The main display activated, revealing a battered transport ship surrounded by 3 sleek Concordat cruisers. The Rakai, a species of bioluminescent humanoids, had refused to pay their latest security fee. Now they would face the consequences, unless Earth finally showed its hand. "Tactical analysis," Chen commanded. Commander Maya Patel's fingers danced across her console. Concordat vessels are running standard shield configurations. Their weapons are powered but not charged. They're not expecting any resistance. Typical bullying operation. Chen allowed herself a small smile. The Concordat had grown lazy in their dominance, relying on fear rather than actual military superiority. They had no idea that humans had been studying their every weakness, developing countermeasures to their supposedly unbeatable technology. "Signal the Perseus and Hyperion," Chen ordered. "Execute Phase 1. Across the vast emptiness of space, 2 massive shapes emerged from the quantum void. The ESS Perseus and ESS Hyperion materialized on either side of the Concordat vessels, their kilometer-long hulls dwarfing the peacekeepers. The Concordat ships immediately powered up their weapons, but it was already too late. "Open a channel," Chen commanded. The main screen flickered to life, showing the startled face of the Concordat commander. A Vextar with their characteristic crystalline skin and multiple eye stalks. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Space Service. Your vessels are now surrounded. Power down your weapons and withdraw from this sector immediately." The Vextar commander's eye stalks writhed in agitation. "This is impossible. Earth is a pre-spaceflight civilization. You have no authority." "We have the authority of every species you've exploited," Chen interrupted. "Every civilization you've kept down. Every innovation you've suppressed. The age of Concordat dominance is over." The Concordat ship's sensors were going crazy as they detected energy readings that should have been impossible. The Perseus and Hyperion's dark matter shields alone violated dozens of the Concordat's carefully maintained technological restrictions. "This is your only warning," Chen continued. "Leave now, or we'll demonstrate exactly why Earth chose to hide its true capabilities." The Concordat vessels retreated, their engines flaring as they fled into quantum space. On the Rakai merchant ship, the crew stared in amazement at their unexpected saviors. "Admiral," Rodriguez called out, "we're receiving transmissions from all over the sector. Word of our intervention is spreading fast." Chen nodded. "Good. The Concordat has ruled through fear and ignorance. Let's show the galaxy there's another way." She turned to her crew, seeing the determination in their eyes. "Send word to all Earth vessels. Operation Daybreak is now active." The silence ends today. As the Nightshade moved to escort the Rakai vessel to safety, Chen knew this was just the beginning. The Concordat would not give up their power easily, but humanity had spent 20 years preparing for this moment. They had watched from the shadows, learning and building, and now it was time to step into the light. The real war, not just for freedom, but for the soul of the galaxy, was about to begin. The mining colony of Nexus 7 hung in space like a broken jewel, its surface scarred by massive excavation sites. Through the nightshade sensors, Admiral Chen watched as endless streams of cargo ships carried precious metamaterials away from the planet, leaving nothing but debt and devastation for its native inhabitants. Status report on the Concordat response, Chen asked, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. Commander Patel's voice was tight with controlled anger. 3 heavy cruisers have entered the system, Admiral. They're broadcasting their usual warnings about maintaining peace and order. She paused, checking her readings. But our deep scans show they're moving support crews to battle stations. They're expecting a fight. The past week had transformed the galaxy's political landscape. After Earth's dramatic revelation of its true technological capabilities, dozens of suppressed civilizations had begun reaching out through secret channels, begging for help against their Concordat protectors. Nexus 7 was among the most desperate cases. "Show me the mining complex," Chen ordered. The main screen shifted, revealing vast underground facilities where the native Nexians, a species of silicon-based beings, were forced to work in conditions that would kill most carbon-based life forms. The Concordat had declared the Nexians naturally adapted to such extreme environments, using this as justification for their exploitation. Lieutenant Rodriguez spoke up from his station. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the Nexian resistance. Their leader requests immediate contact." Chen nodded. "Put them through." The screen flickered, showing the crystalline face of Zorax, the resistance leader. Their faceted surface reflected light in patterns that conveyed both hope and desperation. "Earth vessel, we have waited long for this moment. Our people suffer under the Concordat's quotas. They take our resources, leaving us barely enough to survive. Please, we have heard of your power. Will you help us?" "That's why we're here," Chen replied, her voice firm. "But I need you to understand, this won't be just a rescue. We're going to teach you to defend yourselves." She turned to Patel. "Begin transmission of the technical package." Through quantum-encrypted channels, the Nightshade began sending detailed technical specifications to the Nexian resistance, plans for weapons, shields, and power systems that the Concordat had forbidden them from developing. But more importantly, improvements to their mining technology that would allow them to extract resources efficiently enough to meet quotas while retaining enough for themselves. "Concordat vessels are changing formation," Patel reported. "They're moving to surround the main mining complex. Energy readings suggest they're charging weapon systems." Chen's lips curved in a slight smile. "Right on schedule. Signal the Perseus and Hyperion. Execute Operation Shattered Chains." The space around Nexus 7 warped as Earth's battleships dropped out of quantum space, their massive forms appearing at strategic points around the planet. But this time, they weren't alone. A dozen smaller vessels, armed merchant ships from other liberated systems, joined them, forming a protective screen around the mining colony. "Open a channel to the Concordat fleet," Chen ordered. The main screen split, showing the faces of both Zorax and the Concordat commander. "This is your final warning," the Concordat commander declared, their reptilian features twisted in anger. "Remove your vessels immediately. These workers are under our protection." "Protection?" Zorax interrupted, their crystalline voice ringing with newfound courage. "You call this slavery protection? No more. Earth has shown us the truth and given us the means to fight back." The Concordat commander's eyes widened as their sensors detected massive power signatures emerging from the mining complex. Hidden resistance fighters were activating the weapons and shield systems they'd been secretly building for months, using plans provided by Earth's intelligence network. "Impossible," the commander sputtered. "Those energy signatures, you're violating dozens of technological restrictions. Restrictions that you impose to keep us weak," Zorax replied. "The chains are breaking, Commander. Leave our system or face the consequences." The Concordat ships held their position for a long moment, their weapons charged, but faced with Earth's overwhelming firepower and the unexpected resistance from their former victims, they had no choice. One by one, they turned away, their engines flaring as they retreated into quantum space. On the Nightshade's bridge, Chen watched with satisfaction as Nexian ships began moving to reclaim their orbital facilities. "Send word to Earth Command," she ordered. Another system liberated, but more importantly, another ally gained. The revolution was spreading faster than even they had anticipated. Each liberated system became a beacon of hope for others, and a source of new allies and resources for the growing resistance. The Concordat's carefully maintained system of control was unraveling, one planet at a time. "Admiral," Rodriguez called out, excitement in his voice. "We're receiving requests for assistance from 3 more systems. Word of what happened here is spreading fast." Chen nodded, already studying the tactical displays. The Concordat thought they could keep the galaxy divided and weak forever. Instead, they've created an alliance of the oppressed, and humanity will teach them all how to fight back. As the Nightshade prepared to move to its next target, Chen knew that the real battle was just beginning. The Concordat would not accept this challenge to their authority quietly, but humanity had spent 20 years preparing for this war, and they would not fight it alone. The chains of oppression were breaking, one system at a time, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Concordat was in chaos. Hundreds of holographic projections flickered around the circular room, each showing the face of a different planetary representative. What had once been a theater of carefully orchestrated submission had transformed into an arena of open defiance. Admiral Chen stood beside Earth's ambassador, Dr. Aisha Roman, watching as the Concordat's authority crumbled in real time. In the month since the liberation of Nexus 7, 37 star systems had declared their independence from Concordat control. This is unprecedented sedition. The Concordat's high speaker, a Vextar named Exynthal, thundered from their elevated platform. Their crystalline form pulsed with angry red light. These violations of established technological restrictions threaten the peace we have maintained for centuries. Dr. Raman stepped forward, her dark eyes sharp with intelligence. "Peace or control?" She gestured, and holographic displays appeared throughout the chamber, showing evidence of the Concordat's systematic exploitation of developing civilizations. "We have watched for 20 years, Raman continued, her voice carrying authority earned through decades of diplomatic service. "We saw how you used peace as a weapon, protection as a chain, and stability as an excuse for oppression." Commander Patel's voice came through Chen's neural link. "Admiral, we're detecting multiple quantum space disturbances. Concordat warships are moving into position around the station." Chen subvocalized her response. "Expected. Maintain stealth protocols. Let them think they have the advantage." In the council chamber, more representatives were speaking up. The Nexians, their crystalline forms shimmering with determination, described their newfound prosperity since breaking free from Concordat control. The Raquet demonstrated their newly developed defensive technologies, proving they could protect themselves without Concordat peacekeepers. "This cannot be allowed." First Marshal Kravnar of the Concordat Defense Force slammed his scaled fist on his podium. "If every species is permitted unrestricted technological development, chaos will consume the galaxy." "You mean your control will end," Raman corrected. "Humanity has proved that advanced technology and peace can coexist. We've spent 20 years developing our capabilities in secret, and not once have we used them for conquest." The chamber erupted in angry shouts as Concordat loyalists faced off against increasingly bold independence advocates. Chen noticed several representatives quietly switching their positions to align with Earth's coalition. "Admiral," Patel's voice returned. "Concordat forces are powering up weapons. They're targeting the station's defensive systems." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Right on schedule. Signal the fleet. Execute Operation Falling Masks." Throughout the station, hidden quantum transmitters activated, broadcasting to every species in the galaxy. The carefully maintained illusion of Concordat invincibility shattered as Earth revealed the full extent of their intelligence gathering. "Before you try to silence us with force," Raman announced, "consider this." New holograms appeared, showing detailed scans of the Concordat warships surrounding the station. "Your weapons are powered, but your shield harmonics are vulnerable to phase-shifted attacks. Your quantum drives are charging, but we can disable them with targeted graviton bursts." The Concordat leaders froze as they realized the implications. Earth hadn't just been watching. They had learned how to counter every advantage the Concordat possessed. "We know every weakness in your ships, every flaw in your defenses." Chen stepped forward, her uniform bearing the marks of humanity's true space force. "For 20 years, you thought you were containing a primitive species. Instead, you were teaching us exactly how to defeat you." As if to emphasize her words, massive shapes began appearing around the station. Earth's stealth fleet decloaked, revealing dozens of ships that dwarfed the Concordat's largest vessels. But they weren't alone. Ships from newly liberated systems moved to join them, forming an armada that represented a new future for the galaxy. "The age of Concordat dominion is over," Raman declared. "We offer you a choice. Adapt to a galaxy of equals, or face the combined might of every civilization you tried to suppress." The council chamber fell silent as the Concordat leadership faced their worst nightmare. The carefully maintained hierarchy of power was collapsing, replaced by an alliance of species united by their desire for true independence. "You'll destroy everything we've built," Higzinfel warned, their crystalline form dimming with fear. "No," Chen replied. "We'll build something better. A galaxy where every species can reach their full potential, where cooperation replaces control, and where peace comes from mutual respect, not fear." The revolution they had planned for 20 years was reaching its critical moment. But as Chen looked around the chamber, seeing determination in the faces of former victims turned allies, she knew that whatever came next, the galaxy would never return to the Concordat's false peace. The real question was, would the Concordat choose to be part of the new future, or would they force a confrontation they couldn't win? The Concordat's response to Earth's ultimatum came in the form of the largest battle fleet ever assembled in known space. 500 warships dropped out of quantum space near the Arcturus nexus, their weapons charged and shields at maximum power. At their center, the Concordat's new superweapon, the Planet Killer, moved into position, a demonstration of force meant to crush the revolution once and for all. Admiral Chen watched from the Nightshade's bridge as the enemy fleet approached. To any normal sensors, the space around them appeared empty. The Concordat believed they had caught Earth's forces unprepared, scattered across dozens of systems supporting their new allies. They were wrong. "All ships reporting ready, Admiral," Commander Patil announced, her fingers dancing across the tactical display. "Quantum Web is fully charged. Operation Mirror Maze is green across all parameters." Chen nodded, studying the elaborate trap they had spent weeks preparing. "Status of the Concordat fleet. They're proceeding exactly as intelligence predicted," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported. "Their arrogance is making them sloppy. They're not even running deep scans of the surrounding space." The Planet Killer was the Concordat's ultimate expression of power, a massive vessel capable of destabilizing a planet's core through concentrated graviton beams. They had built it in secret, violating their own technological restrictions, planning to use it as a final solution against any rebellion. "Signal the Allied forces," Chen ordered. "Commence Phase 1. Across the star system, carefully hidden quantum transmitters activated. Suddenly, the Concordat fleet's sensors detected dozens of Earth vessels appearing from quantum space. But something was wrong. The ships seemed to flicker and multiply, creating a confusing array of targets. "Quantum holograms online," Paddle reported. "Their targeting systems are trying to lock onto our false signatures." The Concordat fleet split formation, attempting to engage the phantom ships that seemed to surround them. Their superior numbers meant nothing as they fired at targets that didn't exist, while real Earth vessels remained hidden under advanced stealth fields. First Marshal Krabnar's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Your tricks cannot save you. Witness the power of true order." The planet killer's main weapon began charging, its massive graviton emitters glowing with deadly purpose. Chen allowed herself a grim smile. Execute Phase 2. Throughout the battlefield, quantum entanglement devices that Earth ships had secretly planted over the previous weeks activated. The fabric of space-time itself seemed to ripple as the devices created a complex web of interconnected fields. "Quantum web is stable," Patel announced. "They're completely enclosed." The Concordat fleet suddenly found themselves trapped in a maze of quantum distortions. Their advanced sensors, designed to penetrate any known stealth technology, were now working against them, creating false readings that made tactical coordination impossible. "Now, Commander, show them what humanity has really been working on." The Nightshade and its sister ships decloaked at strategic points throughout the quantum web. But they weren't alone. Vessels from every species the Concordat had oppressed emerged from hiding. Nexian crystalline ships, Rikai biovessels, and dozens of other designs that incorporated both Earth's advanced technology and their own unique innovations. Multiple quantum signatures detected. Rodriguez called out, "The Concordat fleet is trying to retreat, but the web is disrupting their drive calculations." Chen opened a channel to the entire battlefield. "Attention Concordat forces. Your planet killer's graviton weapon is now contained within our quantum web. If you fire it, the resultant feedback will destroy your entire fleet." She paused, letting the implications sink in. "You built that weapon to inspire fear, but humanity has spent 20 years learning that fear is a poor foundation for peace." The Concordat fleet hung motionless, caught in humanity's elaborate trap. Their ultimate weapon had become useless, their superior numbers meaningless against an enemy they couldn't effectively target. "Your choice is simple," Chen continued. "Power down your weapons and accept the new reality of a galaxy where all species are free to develop and defend themselves, or demonstrate exactly why such freedom is necessary by forcing us to defend ourselves." For a long moment, silence filled the quantum-distorted space. Then, one by one, Concordat ships began powering down their weapons. Even the mighty planet killer's graviton emitters dimmed as its crew realized the futility of their position. "Admiral," Rodriguez reported, excitement in his voice, "we're receiving surrender signals from multiple Concordat vessels. The planet killer's command staff is requesting terms." Chen nodded, satisfaction mixing with relief. The elaborate deception, months of careful planning and precise execution, had worked. They had defeated the galaxy's greatest military force without firing a shot, proving that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their advanced technology, but their ability to outthink their opponents. "Signal all Allied forces," she ordered. "Begin recovery operations, and inform Earth Command. The galaxy's future just changed course." The quantum web shimmered in space, holding the Concordat fleet in its intricate embrace. Humanity had proven that true power came not from the ability to destroy, but from the wisdom to know when not to strike. The age of deception was ending, and a new era of genuine cooperation was about to begin. 1 year after the Battle of Arcturus Nexus, the newly established Galactic Assembly gathered on Earth. The choice of location was symbolic. The planet that had hidden its true potential for so long now openly hosted representatives from every spacefaring civilization in known space. Admiral Chen stood in the garden outside the assembly building, watching alien diplomats mingle with human representatives. The Nexians' crystalline forms caught the sunlight, creating rainbow patterns that danced across the grass. Rikai delegates shared their bioluminescent art with fascinated human scientists. Even former Concordat species had sent their representatives, though they no longer claimed special status over others. Quite a change from the old council chambers, isn't it? Dr. Raman approached, carrying 2 cups of coffee. She handed one to Chen, who accepted it gratefully. "Hard to believe it's only been a year," Chen replied, watching a group of Vextar children playing with human kids, their natural crystalline armor glinting as they chased each other through the garden. "Did you ever imagine we'd get here?" "Honestly, no." Raman smiled. "When we first discovered the Concordat's true nature, I thought our only option would be eternal isolation or eventual subjugation. Instead, she gestured at the diverse gathering before them. The assembly hall's doors opened, and Commander Patel emerged, now wearing the uniform of the Joint Species Defense Force. "Admiral, Doctor, they're ready to begin the final session." Inside the assembly chamber, hundreds of species were represented, each bringing their unique perspectives and technologies to the table. The old hierarchies were gone, replaced by a system where every civilization had an equal voice. Former First Marshal Kravnar, now serving as the reformed Concordat's representative, stood to address the gathering. "1 year ago, I would have called this chaos," he admitted, his scaled features showing genuine humility. "Now I see it for what it is, strength through diversity." Chen took her place at the podium, surveying the assembled representatives. 20 years ago, humanity made a choice. When we discovered the truth about the galaxy, we could have retreated in fear or launched an immediate attack. Instead, we chose a harder path. We watched, we learned, and we planned not just for victory, but for peace. The main display activated, showing the progress made over the past year. Former mining colonies had become thriving industrial centers. Suppressed species had developed their own unique technologies, combining Earth's innovations with their natural abilities. The quantum web technology that had trapped the Concordat fleet was now being used to create an instantaneous communication network spanning the galaxy. The Concordat believed that peace required control. Chen continued. That different species couldn't be trusted with advanced technology. That order could only come through force. Humanity proved them wrong, not through superior weapons, but through patience, strategy, and the willingness to trust others with power. Dr. Raman stepped forward, activating a holographic display that showed the new defensive fleet. Ships of every design and origin flew together, crewed by mixed species teams. "The Joint Species Defense Force represents our new approach to peace," she explained. "Every civilization contributes according to their abilities and receives protection according to their needs." Lieutenant Rodriguez, monitoring communications from his station, suddenly straightened. "Admiral, we're receiving a signal from beyond the galactic rim." The assembly hall fell silent as a new contact appeared on the main display. Unknown energy signatures, unlike anything in their database, approached from deep space. "First contact," Chen remarked quietly. "Real first contact, not just discovering more victims of the Concordat." She turned to the assembled representatives. "This is the moment of truth. How will we respond to a truly unknown civilization? With fear and control like the old Concordat, or with courage and wisdom?" The answer came not from any single species, but from the entire assembly. Ships from every civilization moved into position, not to attack or intimidate, but to form an honor guard. The combined scientific knowledge of hundreds of species was brought to bear on understanding the newcomers. The diplomatic corps, representing every member world, prepared to welcome new voices to the galactic community. 20 years of hiding led to this moment, Chen said, watching the assembly work together with practiced efficiency. Not just the fall of the Concordat, but the rise of something better. Real peace, built on cooperation instead of fear. Real progress, driven by shared knowledge instead of suppression. Real strength, found in unity rather than dominance. As the unknown ships drew closer, Chen felt a profound sense of satisfaction. Humanity had changed the galaxy not through overwhelming force, but through patience, strategy, and an unwavering belief in a better way. The hard-won peace they had achieved would face new challenges, but they would face them together. The dawn of a new age had truly begun, and its light would reach further than anyone had imagined possible.